Hey, welcome to the Tim and Jen Show. Tim Ryan, my amazing wife.
Jennifer Jimenez Ryan, and today we have an amazing guest. 2 weeks ago, we tried to have our guest. We had technical difficulties, and I got to tell you, it has been worth the wait on every level. I am blown away by your family, friends, followers, fans, getting a hold of us and just like constantly going, what's going on? Is he going to come back on? You are loved by so many people, including Tim and myself. I mean, Damo. And if I were to describe my friend, I would have to say, and I said this 2 weeks ago, is amoroso. Like, so much love. I want to introduce everyone to our friend. Babe, are you going to turn that off? Okay.
You know technology.
I want to introduce our friend, Ricky Showtime.
My thing's not working.
Hi, Ricky Showtime Quiles.
Hey! So we decided, since we had technical difficulties last time, to come to Ricky's.
And I do gotta admit, it was my fault.
No, it wasn't your fault, because we're using different platforms trying this. Yet Jen, she'll talk about a retrograde, but we're here in your boxing
look
gym,
at this, you guys.
Studio. Where are we? Where's the
Studio City?
Studio City, California, on Cayuga Street.
No, Cahuenga, baby.
Cahuenga.
Ricky, welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you for having us here. How are you?
Doing phenomenal, man. I'm very honored. I'm very blessed to be here with you guys. I love you, Tim. Love you, Jen. You guys are good friends, and for taking the time out to come hang out with me and just have me on your show. I'm very honored and I'm very blessed. Thank you.
Well, thank you. We're blessed to have you.
I have to say, Ricky, I've known you since like around 2006 or 7 when you moved out here from Cleveland, right? I have never seen you in a bad mood. Like, the love is so infectious, the kindness, the smile. You are like this to men and women. You don't care how old, young, what age range they are. You just give love. And I watch you. I've watched you my whole life. What is that? Where does that come from?
You know, here's the thing, man. Like, for me, love is the thread that connects us all. Kindness is a thread that connects us all. So I try to be kind to everybody, whether you got money, you don't got money, you got one shoe pink, one shoe purple, and what kind of clothes you wear. It's about the heart that you have. And that is what I love about people, is that I want to give love back.
Have you always been that way since a kid?
I think I've always been that way since I was a kid. You know, my father moved from Puerto Rico to the United States, and he was quite famous back home where I'm from.
Oh, yeah?
In Lorain, Ohio, which is a suburb right outside of Cleveland.
Sure, know it well.
And I grew up on the south side, South Lorain.
So wait, is that a big Latin community? A lot of Puerto Ricans?
Puerto Ricans.
I know that.
A lot of Puerto Ricans.
Tough area?
Yeah, tough area, very, and still is to this day. But my dad was quite famous back home. My dad was only about this big, you know, maybe 5'6", 5'7" tops. And he always had a kind heart and a loving personality. And I think that I might have inherited that from him.
Yeah, I mean, here you are, so loving and kind, and you're a fucking badass. Excuse my language, babe. I can't say it any less. He says I say too many bad words.
No.
You are 4-time, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4-time champion, boxing champion.
Yes.
So let's take it back. How did you decide you wanted to be a boxer? I mean, kids growing up, I want to play baseball, I want to do this. And what age did you really say, I want to start boxing?
So, okay.
Was it to keep you out of the streets?
No, actually it wasn't. Here's the thing. Us Puerto Ricans, we love boxing. So when I was a kid, we lived in this house, and we had a basement, and my Uncle Freddie, my father, they used to throw these big parties in the basement. And this 1970s, which I'm 50 years old. It sounds awkward and weird for me to even say that.
That's okay.
I don't feel 50, but in the 1970s, they were doing a lot of drugs, a lot of drinking, a lot of partying.
Sure.
And they would have parties at my house all the time. And the basement was like a big man cave. Pool table, they sell boxing bags in the basement. They have boxing gloves, headgear, and while they were down there partying, doing drugs and drinking, I would go downstairs as a little kid, 6 years old, 5, 6 years old, and I would just navigate through the crowd while they're doing drugs and drinking. And I would hit the punching bags.
Yep.
And my Uncle Freddie would come, teach me a couple moves, and then my friends would come over. They'll put me to fight with my friends. My cousins would come over, put me to fight with my cousins. And
You're 6, 7, 8 years old.
yeah. So
Tough kids.
I loved it. It was a way for me to forget about what was happening in my life at the
To
time.
cope with the drugs and all this, with everything you're saying.
With everything.
A lot of trauma in the family life.
Yes. And I'll get to that in a minute, but I just loved it. It's the only thing that made me feel I could do good and do well and get lost in myself.
I hear you.
And so I just loved it. It wasn't because I was angry. It wasn't because I was mad and like I wanted to hurt somebody. It was just because I was just fucking good at it.
You were
Made them
bad.
miss. Then make them pay. Bob, slick shit.
So when did you actually step into the
I'm
ring?
there, by the way. I'm sorry. As you're talking, you describe it so well.
Yeah.
I'm there. It's
Yeah.
a movie.
Yeah.
Like I'm in there with you, watching, listening.
Thank you.
When did, like 12 years old is when?
No, I was fighting at about 7, 8 years old. I was fighting little pee-wee fights and winning those fights. And then, it progressed to when I got around 13, I started fighting in these little tournaments, winning these tournaments. Then I started fighting in the Cleveland Golden Gloves, which I actually lied. You have to be 16 to fight in these Golden Gloves. Golden Gloves and the amateurs like one of the biggest titles
Absolutely.
you can win.
Yep.
Because every state, New York City, Chicago, Detroit, Los Angeles Golden Gloves, New York Golden Gloves. And so if you win the Golden Gloves, they merge all the states together, and then you fight everybody.
At the championship.
Yeah, of the big championship. So I was 15 years old. And this is before the computer age that came out. It's 19.
So 15
19
years old, 1980,
Five,
85, 86,
86.
you're 2 years younger
Yeah.
than me, so okay, yep.
And so I lied and I told him I was 16. You got to be 16 years old to enter the tournament. And there's 3 different tiers. There's the novice beginner. I'm sorry, green beginner. That means you have 0 fights, so you can fight people in that age, in that bracket. Then you get the novice division, between 10 to 15 fights in that bracket. I put myself in the open division, meaning fight the best of the best. Whoever, no matter what age. So the first, you have to win about 6 to 8 times to win this tournament.
Wow.
So I entered the tournament. My first fight was this big, burly, white guy with a big Hitler mustache, big hairy chest. I'm looking at him like this. His hair from his chest was sticking in my face, basically. I'm looking at this guy. I can't believe I'm gonna fight this guy. So the first punch he throws, and he hits me in the face. He breaks my nose. Blood squirting all over the place. I'm wobbling all around. I'm looking at this guy. I see 6 of him.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. I say, hit that motherfucker in the middle. And that's what I did. I ended up knocking him out in the second
Wow.
round. And as a 15-year-old kid, black eyes came like this from the broken nose. I fought 6 more times to win the tournament.
At 15 years old.
With the broken nose, the open division, the best of the best.
And that is the
Wait,
first
that's
and
what I was
last
gonna
time,
ask.
go ahead.
How many times have you broken your nose?
One time.
That's the
Wow.
first and last time he's
Wow.
broke his
The
nose.
only time. And here's the blessing for it. There's a blessing and a curse. The blessing is it got really hard up here, strong. Like I got hit with the best punchers in my division, and never broke it again. The curse though is that I can't breathe sometimes on this side, so I gotta use like sprays, whatnot, and I still gotta get it fixed. I've just been living like this since 15.
So you procrastinate.
Yeah.
Procrastinate. So You win the Golden
And I got
Gloves.
the most outstanding trophy of the year with the broken nose. The trophy is bigger than I was. I'm holding the trophy up. 2 black guys, broken nose, but I won. I was happy about it.
Well,
Have you
should be.
ever really heard what you're saying
No.
and really accepted your ability, your gift? Because that's a major thing to say. You're 4-time champion. You somehow made your way in as a kid and lied about it and got through and never fought before, and then you won the whole thing. You've won so many times. Have you ever allowed that, the grasp of your ability and your iconicness?
To be quite honest with you, I'm my own self worst enemy and sabotage myself a lot. And didn't believe in myself the way I should have. And that I had to do a lot too with the drinking and drugging at the age of 14. 15.
You said something one time when I heard you speak at a thing we were doing, and you were speaking, and I'm just not breaking any traditions, but and you said something about how you felt like you were in shadows, or you didn't, your self-esteem, but yet you were 4-time. Can we get to there, or do you want to get a little bit how the next level?
Let's get into the levels first. So when did you want to?
Husband and wife.
I know.
I mean, she wants to go to the end of the rainbow.
No, but there's so
when
much.
did you actually turn pro? How old were you when
I was 18.
18 years old. So when you're a pro box, so that's, figure out what year, 90?
1989.
1989. I'm in college eating acid and doing rails and not accomplishing. I threw my water skiing career away. But you turn pro. What was it like? Because everyone's going to ask. I mean, did you have a contract? Did you get sponsored? Were you making a decent living at the time? Could you support yourself, or did you have to run a gym too? How does it work back then in '89?
So basically, I was just training. Phrase, I got to mention this because this guy, if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be here with you guys right now. Freddie Barrios from South Lorain. Ever since I was 6 years old, he had a boxing gym in South Lorain, where I'm from, and I would walk to his gym. It opened, and we're talking about Manuel Rodriguez, who was somebody who I idolized. And so many boxers came out of this gym. I would go into this gym at 6 years old. Freddie opened up, I was 6, 1976. And I was like the little mascot in the gym. Freddie Barrios opened up several other gyms, along with, there's another person opened up another gym called Southerners Boxing Gym, which I also trained in the gym as well. So, but Freddie kept these gyms open, and then at 13, he started picking the kids up. He had a brown van, and he would pick up the kids in the neighborhood in South Lorain. Even on the west side, he would drive. Pick up door to door, house, pick up all the, so it'd be a van full of kids laughing and joking. We go to a boxing gym, and we would train. And he did this on his own time.
Wow.
His own money.
That's huge.
Spending his gas money, time with the kid, take us out to eat afterwards. So he did this out of his own heart. If it wasn't for Freddie Barrios, I wouldn't know what I'd be doing with my life. And sure, I wouldn't be boxing.
Wow.
Thank you, Freddie.
Is he still around?
He's still around.
Oh, Freddie, we love you.
Barrios.
We need more Freddie Barrios
Thank
out
you,
there.
thank you.
Yes.
I hope people can see that and hear what you're saying, so then they can become a Freddie Barrios.
Yeah.
But
we need that
and
today. That's beautiful.
With all the chaos around you, and there's drugs and alcohol, you found your passion, you found something you love, you turned pro at 18. What's your next championship?
So what happened was when I turned pro, I fought my first pro fight in Baltimore, Maryland, against Chris Lucas. He was undefeated. At about 5-0, and I went to Baltimore to fight him in his hometown. I ended up beating him. And then I fought twice in Cleveland at the Nautica, then once in Lorain at the Palace, Lorain Palace on Broadway. where I'm from. And then I decided that I want to pursue bigger, and so I ended up leaving Lorain to move.
Did you want to pursue it, or did people tell you you needed?
People were telling me to, to pursue,
question.
to sign a big contract. And Ray Boom Boom Mancini from Youngstown, great WBF Lightweight and Junior Welterweight champion, saw me fighting in the Golden Gloves, and he was getting ready to fight Hector Macho Camacho.
Sure, absolutely.
And, so he knew that I was I'm southpaw, I'm left-handed, quick, fast. So he took me to training camp when I was about 17, going on 18 years old, to Las Vegas, from Lorain to Las Vegas. I trained with him for 3 months. He said, when you turn pro, I want to guide you and help you. So I did turn pro, and I had 4 fights with Freddie Barrios and Jim Kelly from Cleveland. He kind of managed me. Ray Boom Mancini and his trainer bought the contract from, for however much money, so that I can go with them. So I had to move to San Diego. So I'm kind of like.
So that's how you got to California.
Correct.
And you never left.
And I did leave.
You did leave.
I did leave.
That's just crazy. The names and the icon, like that's just amazing and beautiful. Can I ask a question? Sorry. So here you are. I've been wondering as you're talking about this. You're you, right, Ricky, and then you get on the do you transform when you're do you feel? How do you feel when you're not in this boxing ring? How are you walking around? How are you feeling as Ricky?
Right now today or
back then.
When you're preparing to walk into a
before,
fight.
as you walk around. So Jenny, right? If you put me in front of a camera, I know how to be. Right? That's my stage. This is your stage. So, but in normal life, I felt so lost.
I get it, 1,000%.
Did you feel alone a lot?
I did, emotionally and mentally and spiritually. And here's why. I started drinking at the age of 14 years old. My dad left. My mom and dad got divorced when I was about 8 years old. Again, this is not about assassinating the character of my mother, the character of my father.
No.
It's about being honest and being truthful. What happened in my life, how it happened. My father, like I said, was famous. He worked at the U.S. Steel Mill, but he did a lot of drugs and drink. And he brought that chaoticness into our home as a kid. And what that looked like for me was that my dad worked at U.S. Steel. He would come home, he would come with his friends, drinking, drugs, and they'll be up all night. It's hard for me to go to sleep. I'm the oldest of all my brothers and sisters. I'm the oldest. And all of a sudden he'd be screaming and yelling. And, again, this is not disgusting my father. I love my father. There was times I hated him, times I loved him, because he didn't participate in my life the way he should have as a father. But he was under addiction and alcohol and drugs, which doesn't make an excuse. So he would physically abuse my mother, physically abuse her. She would come in my room screaming and crying, bloody and stuff. And I would hide her under my bed with pillows. I would hide her in the closet. Sometimes he came in and he found her and he beat her up in front of us kids. And sometimes he didn't. And she slept in her room until morning where she could sneak out. And what that did for me was that traumatized me, which you would call today PTSD.
Yeah.
I didn't know that at the time, but in school, I would go to school and it would really affect me so much that I would black out in school, and they said I had a learning disability. So in the 4th grade, they ended up flunking me.
You were actually disassociated.
Yeah, I was going to say, I have that.
You were disassociating from the trauma and the pain that you see and experience, and that was your coping skills for that age until you got older and it became.
Of course, when my mother divorced my father, he left. I used to go walk in the snow. I used to walk in the rain, and I would go to the boulevard, Pearl Avenue, and also 28th Street, while the bars were as a young kid, 8 years old, looking for my father, door to door, knocking on from bar to bar. And we know he was here, but he was over here. Then when he came out, I'm an 8-year-old kid. I would look at his fingers and his hands, try to find some kind of identification. I had a father in my life.
Yeah.
Because I felt lost and I felt embarrassed and ashamed. When I went to school, nobody came to school for me. No family, no friends, no my mom and dad to support me. Everybody had fathers and mothers. So I felt really embarrassed. I felt ashamed. And I would look at his hands, he would pat me back, I love you. I'll walk back home and catch an ass back home with my mom because I was out all day looking for my father. So
Boy, that's heart-wrenching.
So I
Ricky.
did. Thank you.
Do you know how many people, and I'm grabbing your leg to tell you that I thank you for your bravery and your honesty, because there's so many people that have this story today, right now, that are listening. They have this. This is going on still,
It's going on now. They experienced it, and they don't talk about
or
it.
they've experienced it and grown up and they can't face this.
it.
And how you're talking about this so
Openly.
and honestly, it's like, it's making me relate to certain parts of my life, and I'm sure to certain parts of your life in some way, but like, it takes a lot of guts to sit here.
It took a long time. And, I kept this secret for many, many, many years of my life, and it hindered me emotionally and spiritually.
For you to say that, though, and I'm going to jump up to when I met you almost 2 years ago. I don't know if it's the people in LA that Jenn introduces me to, but you're one of the most kind-hearted, loving, compassionate, caring, no bullshit people I've ever met. I see you just full of joy, happiness, but on the outside, it's something like Jenn talks about. A lot of people wear a mask. That's not a mask with you. That's who you are now. And all these trials and tribulations, and I want to get into, what kind of was your downfall and then your upfall again, have made you who you are today.
But also, you don't hide behind I don't hide behind my excuses of why I should be the way I should be one way. I am who I am. And you've chosen to be loving, kind, and honest. And that is a gift, because a lot of people they want to be the victim.
They want to live in the victim mentality, it's like we were talking last week, something about trauma. And I said, a lot of people, and for the people listening, a lot of people have bad shit happen to them in life. And my heart hurts for you. But something that happened 10, 15, 20 years ago, it is your responsibility to get the help, to quit living in that trauma and playing the victim and accepting it and healing yourself to become a better person. Because if not, you're going to do the same things to your kids or your friends or your wife or your husband. The cycle doesn't break.
But I want him to finish your part here with your mom and.
So, so I just felt heartbroken, and I have a father in my life, and of course my mother, she went out and did her things in her life, and kind of, now I won't say abandoned the kids, because that'd be wrong terminology, but it would be. It's the truth. She kind of did her own thing in life and left. I felt alone, no support of family, mother, father, and so when I found alcohol at the age of 14, me and my friends from South Lorain, they were having a party, and they were drinking alcohol. And I tried it for the first time. I like to call it the 3 M's. It was magical. The first time was magical for me, because when I drank, I got that buzz. I felt loved. I felt my friends were my best friend. My life, I felt cared for. I felt that I belonged, a sense of belonging. I felt a part of, and it was magical. And skipping forward ahead throughout the years, it became my medicine. And what that means is that every time I was sad, I needed a drink. Every time I was going through an emotional turmoil, I needed a drink. Even when I was happy, yo, what's up, hey? Hey, let's get a drink. So it became medicine for me. I was just numbing myself. And at the end of my using and drinking, it became misery.
Ooh, 3 M's.
Yeah, the 3 M's.
You know, and it's hard for people to wrap their heads around, but then I see it more and more now.
That was
because
powerful. Sure.
You have social media, and you see people that are at the top of their game, and people think financially, career-wise, whether you're a professional athlete, you're in the business world, you're in the entertainment world, but truthfully, they're so lonely inside, and we're masking our pain with drugs and alcohol or whatever, and we're all in misery. And what was it that took you to put your hand up and say, I need to change my ways? What was the catalyst that made you say, I can't live this way anymore? Because you were at the top of your game, you know, in full-blown addiction and alcoholism.
You say, I've heard you say this, you're 4-time world champion. And how did you feel?
So, you know, throughout my career, I was fighting on HBO, fighting on ESPN, fighting on national television, traveling around the world, going to France, going to Germany, going to Rome, Australia, Japan, just traveling. And I made some good money, and then I lost a lot of money because of my addiction, my drug use. The way that people see or perceive me a lot, in a lot of ways in life, even back home with my friends or whatnot. Some of them knew that I had a big drug addiction, mostly cocaine and drinking. Cocaine and drinking was my thing. And that's
You two have got a
true.
lot in common.
Yeah.
Hold on, you two have traveled the world, and you both did a lot of cocaine.
But I
and
wasn't
drank.
an athlete. Like, I couldn't imagine,
You were
like,
a
oh, I'm
supermodel.
gonna fight. Like,
You're a
okay.
supermodel. You're a supermodel. She's supermodel. I was just an athlete. But
And I'm just a guy with half an ear.
but now he got some model. So he's doing good. Don't let him beat you. Don't let
And I
him
got
beat
the
you.
athlete as a mentor and dear friend, so good
Thank
stuff.
you, thank you. So, you know, here's the thing, like, honestly, during the height of my career, when I was doing good in my life, people saw me and they was like, oh, he's a boxer, he's fighting on TV. I'll describe it like this. I have my jewelry on, my you know, a little bit of money in my pocket at times. So it looked like a nice big mansion. Like, wow, that guy's, he's a mansion.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked good on the outside, the appearance looked good on the outside. And I faked it because that's who I am. I'm a chameleon. I can
right.
transform and make things look good when in here's not.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. When people saw me, they think, oh, I'm doing good, I'm fighting ESPN, this or that. They didn't know that I would go home at nighttime because I knew I was a drug addict. I knew that emotionally and spiritually, I was drowning myself. Nobody was doing it but me. That I would go home at night as a grown man, number one in the world. Not the United States, but the motherfucking world. And yet I go home and I cry at night. I cry at night. So I live like this mansion, but when you knock on the door and you walk in, the house is empty.
Ooh, that
was my spirit and my soul. You look at me, you talk to me, oh, he's got his shit together. But then you open it inside my heart, and you walk into my soul, and to me, I was empty. Nothing's inside. And that was my life until I was 35 years old.
35 years old. You know, and it's the same, whether it's my journey, Jennifer's journey, your journey, millions of people's, the loneliness, the isolation, the putting on the facade, you know, and every night.
People are feeling that all day long, every day, all day, here, now. Right now, people are feeling what you feel like.
Right
for
now,
many other reasons.
And there's many.
And I felt what you felt.
Yeah.
My whole life. So I understand you. Like, I feel like crying, but I also feel like I'm in church hearing you. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's the music to my heart, what I'm hearing right now. You know, to know that you're able to sit here right now, you are a miracle, a beautiful miracle. So you're 35 years
So
old.
you're 35 years old.
¿Y qué pasó?
Y que paso. That's state show, because that's all
And
I
what
know. I can
happened?
say a few other words. What was it
What
that,
happened?
did you go to treatment? Did you have an intervention? Did you?
We got a lot of time still. I can just break this
We
down.
have 18 minutes.
Boom, we got time. There it is, baby. So basically what happened was I was going through my drug abuse from 14 to 35. So my whole career. I would break training camp, I would train, and then I would go out and do drugs for 2-3 days, and then go back to training. And then so I was, 90% of my fights was me out of shape.
Right.
Wow.
But a lot, I got 50 professional fights. I got 8 losses out of professional.
50?
50, yeah. So I got 50 professional fights, 8 losses, and some of them I won, but they're all lost, like by this close, except for my last fight against my good friend Nate Campbell. But I get this opportunity to fight this guy by the name of Luis Vilata. He's a Peruvian. He's a Peruvian champion. And they asked me if I said, yeah, I'll take the opportunity.
Hold on, I saw on one of your billboards over there, your posters, you'll get in the ring and fight anybody.
Well, yeah, it wasn't about the money, because sometimes I make good money, some was okay. I made astronomical money here and there, but it was more, I want to fight for that title.
Yep,
You know?
yep.
And I had fought anybody. I fought the best of the best in my weight class, the biggest punchers, the best of the best in my weight class. So this guy, Luis Vilata, they asked me to fight him live at the Hard Rock Cafe Casino. On ESPN, he was the champion. He had like 30-some wins with like 28 knockouts.
Wow.
Big puncher. So I took this fight at the Hard Rock Cafe Casino, about 7,000 to 10,000 spectators.
Wow.
We're fighting, and I'm doing pretty good. I was shockingly doing amazing. Like I said, I'm one of those three. I'm not a Mike Tyson knockout artist where I hit you one time and you go to sleep. I wish I was, but I didn't have that. I didn't have those utensils. The utensils I had was slick shit, being slick, being fast, southpaw, make them miss. The Matrix.
That's
you know?
that's an art form right there. Yeah, that's
The
art.
Matrix, and I'll make you miss and make you pay. And so I was making this guy miss and making him pay, and I almost knocked him out a couple of times. In the last round, the 12th round, the final round, I hit him, and I swear to God, Jenn and Tim, I got 50 professional fights. This never happened to me. So I don't know if it was God or something magical, spiritual, whatever you want to call it, told me there's something wrong with this guy. Something wrong with him. So I told the referee, stop the fight. The referee gave him an 8 count. 1, 2. And this guy's a beast. He got up. He kept coming and coming and coming. So I'm boxing. I'm doing what and the bell rings. I know I won the fight. I'm starting to cry.
Wow.
And then new champion, Ricky Quiles, I'm raising my hands and I'm crying. So I for the first time in my career, I grabbed this guy's hand. I lifted it up in the air. I paraded him around the boxing ring, which we got a standing ovation.
Wow, that's
So I take his title, put it around my waist. I go to my dressing room. I'm allowed to keep that title for about a half hour, take pictures. I got to give it back. It's his trophy for life. They sent me a brand new one with my name inscripted inside. So I'm taking pictures, and my dressing room's right here. His dressing room's right across the hall, under the same roof. And I hear people screaming and crying.
Oh no.
And then I hear ambulance. My coach, they didn't want to tell me what was happening. They didn't want to ruin my moment of me being champion. I had a big after party to go to, and this guy collapsed, and they told me what happened, and I cried because I'm not, like I said, I'm not in boxing because I want to hurt people.
right.
Not in boxing, I'm angry, you know. I cried. I went home, and for like 4 days, kind of stayed buried in my house. for 4 days.
Wow.
And they were letting me know what was going on. He died on the 4th day. Something I never talk about. He died on the 4th day. When he died, so I'm going to quit boxing for the rest of my life. At the height, kind of at the height of my career.
Wow.
And I spent over into my addiction even more.
So I want to go deeper with that, Ricky, and I thank you for sharing that, and I've got goosebumps, but did you feel that you were part of him?
I did. What happened was I got severely depressed after the fight club. He had kids in Peru, a wife in Peru, and I felt that it was like my fault, and I blamed myself.
I can understand.
And they could, today now I know the difference.
I was
Sure,
say,
absolutely.
yeah.
I was going to make sure we went there
Yeah.
because I'm going to give you a big hug and a leg, sure.
At the time,
Sure.
because I was still doing lots of drinking, I was still partying, it fed into, it was my fault. Like, if I didn't fight him, why this gotta happen to me? So I quit boxing. I didn't want nothing to do with boxing. I didn't want to watch it. I didn't want nothing to do with it. So I did drugs, more cocaine, more drinking, and I drowned myself in self-pity. And almost for a year and a half. And these boxers did nothing to do with boxing.
Wow.
But there's something really profound as well as you saying, I was boxing not to hurt people. Because people think, oh, boxing.
No, you're not.
You did it for the art form. It's the dance, like this whole, like you said, Matrix stuff.
Yeah.
It's the art form. It's the creative.
I want to ask you a question. Did you ever go, because like when I used to compete in barefoot water skiing or something, there were some tournaments you went into going, man, I might get second or third because I know this guy's better than me. Did you ever go into a fight going, I'm going to get my ass kicked. I'm going to do my best, but this person's going to beat me? Or did you always go in, I'm going to win?
I sabotaged a lot of my boxing career because of the alcohol and drugs. But one thing about me, I'm from the streets of South Lorain. I'm a beast when it comes to mentality, boxing, even street fighting. Like, I'm always thinking, no matter what condition I'm in, mentally, emotionally, physically, even spiritually, I'm gonna whoop ass no matter what. And I went into that all the time like that. Now I didn't feel like, oh, this guy's a beast. I know I'm not in the best shape because I've been doing drugs and drinking. But yet, I still put myself in a category of beast mode.
Yep.
Ain't nobody kicking my ass. And that's the way I thought no matter what.
Do you ever feel that ever now?
What do you mean?
Like, I feel like if you're like doing something, you're like, I'm a beast. Like, when you know that you're on
You're a beast
point.
now.
I know, he is a beast. He's all like to be humble about it.
No, there is times I get like that. I'm beast. Gotta put
It's
myself
good.
in
It's good
myself.
to feel that.
But in a good way.
Yeah.
Not in a disrespectful, in a good way. And, I do think.
So you ended up getting sober. When?
Well, you want to ask how I got sober?
Yeah, how'd you get sober?
Am I taking over here?
No, it's your show.
Hey, so what happened was, I was drinking, doing drugs, and I didn't watch fights and shit like that. I'm high one day, and my friends come over and they were like, hey man, there's an opportunity for you to watch this guy. His name is Edward Cherry, the Cherry Bomb. He's 21 years old, from Haiti, living in Florida, knocking out everybody. He's like becoming the champion, like number one guy in your weight class that he used to be in. I said, I don't want to watch the fight because I don't watch fights no more. So I'm high, I'm drunk, and they say he's fighting the guy that you fought before. And so that piqued my interest. So they put the fight on. Like I said, I'm getting high. I'm smoking cocaine. I'm drinking, and I'm the TV cameras all wild.
Oh no!
And so this guy goes out, and the chair goes out, and knocks this guy out that I beat, but knocks him out cold. And in my head, I'm thinking to myself, God damn, Thank God, never fought a motherfucker like that. That guy's a beast. But my friend said, Ricky, how'd you think he did? I said, yeah, he did pretty good. You know, because I'm a macho man, you know?
Right. Yeah.
I kid you not, I swear to God, no joke. A week later, I get a phone call. Brrrring, brrrring. It's my manager. I pick it up. Hey, Ricky, are you ready, Ricky? Are you ready? Ready for what? Ready for to be number one in the world again? No. So I jump up, and I'm throwing punches. Hell yeah! Hell yeah! Now, at this time, you got to remember, I've been fighting almost a year and a half. Emotionally, spiritually, physically, and mentally. I want to be honest, I never said this. I said it a couple times in Alcoholics Anonymous. I want to commit suicide. I was on the verge of wanting to commit suicide. I thought about it a lot.
I'm glad
And
you didn't.
I'm not that type of dude.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm a caring, loving, happy-go-lucky guy. I want to commit suicide. So when they told me how much money I was going to make, I said, hell yeah! And I was going,
I'm in.
hey, I was spending my money on everything under the sun and not taking care of myself the way I should have. So who do I got to fight? Who do I got to fight? The guy that ended the cherry. I'm like this. Who? Ended the cherry bomb. I'm like this. I'm going to call you back.
Oh my God.
Because I want to get my ass whooped. I ain't never been knocked out. And I'm too prideful for that. So I decided to take the fight. And for the first time in my life, since the age of 14 to 30, I was 35 years old. He's 21 years old, this guy.
Wow.
For the first time, I was so scared of getting knocked out that I stopped doing drugs and drinking to this training camp. I had a big stomach this big, a little chin, double chin.
Kind of like mine.
And I started training at nighttime. I was living in Florida, in Fort Lauderdale. And I was running at night, 2 o'clock in the morning, I would cry. And I would start crying, hyperventilating, and start praying to God because I lost my way from God. I lost my way from myself. I lost my way from reality of life. And I started praying to God, please help me. Every night I would cry, every night. I was running at nighttime because I'm too embarrassed to run during the day.
Wow.
Because the way I looked. And I went to the press conference, and the chair guy, Mike Tyson lookalike, ripped 6-pack abs. And I got this little belly. Comes up to me, so I'm going to whoop your ass. Now, I'm from the streets of South Lorain, baby. We ain't whooping nobody's ass, motherfucker. I'm going to whoop your ass. But in my head, in silence, in my head, this guy's going to knock me the fuck out. He's going to knock me out. And people were saying, Ricky, why are you taking this fight? This is the platform of ESPN and the social and there's no social media, the media. Why are you taking a fight? You're gonna get knocked out. You're gonna get knocked out. So I stopped going to all the press conferences, and I kept training. And the second month I got a 4-pack. Third month I got a 6-pack. I said, I'm whooping this motherfucker's ass, right? So the fight comes live on ESPN. We're fighting. The first punch this guy throws, he hits me, and I see it coming. I see it. When he hits me, boom! I did the funky chicken, and I wobbled from one side of the ring to the other side of the ring, and I saw this guy. I saw 8 of him at the same time, and we fought for 12 rounds, and he almost knocked me out several times. But
12 rounds.
I was in the best shape of my life. Didn't do drugs and drink for 3 months for the first time. I'm 35 years old. I felt emotionally, spiritually connected to God, to myself. I love myself. And when I got short to be the time, I ended up winning the fight.
Yes. I love that. I did not know
I
that.
became number 1 in the world at 35 years old.
Wow.
Here's the thing, man.
Wow, that
Here's the
gives me
thing.
goosebumps. Look at the hair on my arm.
For the first time, I felt the proudest I've ever been in my entire career.
Wow.
Beating Anna Cherry, the biggest fight for me, because it taught me, about sobriety. But here's the messed up thing is that when I got out the ring, I know we got a good time
It's
to
okay.
rush. I came out the ring, and all my friends were screaming, Ricky, I'm number 1 in the world. They poured beer on my head. They poured trickles, like zigzag, like a movie. It gets in my nose, I go,
Good.
oh my God. And so what happened, it just triggered me. and I'm up for 3 days doing cocaine and drinking.
Just like that.
I get dropped off from my house, and I'm alone in my home. And I just start crying. But I start cursing at God. Start cursing at my life. Fuck you. I went to commit suicide. I was high and drunk again. And I'm number one in the world. So I ended up going to Chicago with this girl. I was dating in Chicago. And kind of get my parents together. I ended up putting myself in rehab.
You told me that, yeah, you put yourself in the Lincoln Park.
Lincoln Park. Chicago.
Yeah.
And I put myself in rehab, and I was
And then you lived there for a while.
I have this weird feeling. Should we bring Ricky
Yeah,
back
no,
next week?
we're gonna bring, can we do this next week?
We could do this next
Can we
week.
finish
Yeah,
and
this
next
no.
week after.
No.
And the next week
Yeah,
after.
I
The
mean, like,
reason
this-
being is,
This is so profound that I've never done this before.
there's so
We'll
much
talk
more.
sometime.
Now, we're just talking about, you're 15 years sober?
15.
Yeah, but
and
the
so-
way he
No,
tells the
I know.
story, I
So
want
the
you
point
to-
is, though, we've got 15 more years to discuss.
Yeah.
Look, I'm the boss. No, you are, I'm sorry.
I just-
Hey.
I like this.
If you ever learned that by now,
Yeah.
brother.
This
No,
is what I do.
I am not the boss,
Ricky,
trust me.
you know that
She
I go,
runs
okay,
the
because
show.
I know I'm the boss.
Yeah.
I feel that there's so much more that you need to tell. I'm at the edge. I was at the edge of my seat a little while ago, and I realized I had to sit straight. But I want you to come back next week.
So Lorain, Ohio, and everyone else that's watching, we've never done this before.
Ever.
We're gonna be back here in the ring
You're
next Tuesday, what?
you're mad.
Yeah.
We're gonna end with you're mad at God.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's where we will end
Okay,
this.
three
You're-
days. Can we do this like
Yes.
Are you good?
We can do
We're
whatever
good.
we
Well, we
want,
kinda
right?
do what we
Good.
want.
Yeah. They're the boss.
Yeah.
No, sorry. She's the boss.
Yeah.
He's the
Let's get
boss.
this
Can,
right.
do you
Yeah.
have time next Tuesday?
I do.
4
I'll
o'clock?
make the time for you guys.
No, because there's so much cool
We just gotta
stuff.
cancel our other person, but we're gonna be fine.
No, we reschedule that.
Yeah, we'll reschedule.
But there's just so much more, and when you get someone like you, Ricky, I mean, you
You've
shared
worked a
some things
lifetime.
today that you said I've never talked about, and you get deep and real and honest and authentic. That's what we want the people listening or viewing to understand. And
Like, this is real shit. This is
I mean,
real
this
life.
is life
Sometimes I cuss
and
on
death,
today.
and you have to understand. I'm sitting here with my beautiful wife, supermodel, actress, celebrity, world champion,
Four-time.
boxer, badass, one of my brothers, a man I consider a dear friend. So we're going to wrap it up right now. Remember, if you are struggling and someone needs help, you can look us up at our new website, www.dope2hope.com, or you can call us 844-611-HOPE.
And if people want to reach you. how
And
do
if
they
people
reach
want
you?
to follow you or reach you, how can they do
They
that?
can do that at www.rickysboxinggym.com.
Ricky'sBoxingGym.com, or you can find them on Instagram and follow them. We will be back next week, Ricky. We love you. We thank you.
The three of
and
us
this is
will
going to
be
be
back.
cool. So again,
continue.
next week we
Thank
will
you.
have Ricky Quiles on the show. I love you. Again, signing off. Thank you for tuning in
Bye,
to the Tim and
guys.
Jen Show. Bye-bye.
Yes.
We want to talk to you about Clean Cause, better caffeine. What's in the can? Our organic, sparkling Herba Mate is a premium pick-me-up that won't let you down. Every can of Clean Cause contains 160 milligrams of better caffeine, and each sip supports recovery from alcohol and drug addiction. 50% of the profits go to assist people into sober living. Check out cleancause.com. It's here and it's now. Dr. Abe Malikan, board certified in addiction medicine, is bringing to you Elite Home Detox, where we can put together a rehab plan for you in the privacy and comfort of your own home. This is a concierge service. We have a medical staff come to your home and detox you exclusively. Check out our locations in California, New York, and Florida. EliteHomeDetox.com.
Now, glutathione is a big word, but it's the body's own master antioxidant. So it's a scavenger for free radicals, for bacteria, and what's relevant now, viruses. This is new to the marketplace. There's no other product on the market that has the ingredient NACET.
And basically NACET increases the production of that glutathione that is in our body already to strengthen and enhance our immune system and keep it strong.
Elevated sense of well-being. Supports muscle strength and endurance.
Cognitive function. Powerful liver support.
Energy. Helps blood sugar regulation. Superior bioavailability of key ingredients.
One of your best defenses against COVID is a strong immune system. Taking GSH Plus as a daily supplement does all that. And now we have the product out on the marketplace.